ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات
عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
Just give a minute before we start, some people to join. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Alhamdulillah, we have completed 23 fast. Today is the 24th fast. We have participated in the Amal of Qadr for the 3 nights. And now we are just spending the few days, remaining days and hours of this holy month. Before I come to the next slide, which talks about the importance of the remaining days, I thought I will, as promised, because our course is about taking hadith from this book, Combat of the Self, so we'll start with that. An interesting hadith, which we did touch earlier, but then we had not talked about this aspect. Where about the 6th Imam is talking about different kind of commitments which Allah has enjoined faith upon different limbs of human being. Every limb has its own requirement. It's a long hadith, and we won't cover the entire hadith, but just one thing is very important, because now that we have reached a stage whereby we have been discussing about this thing all these days, we have gone through the holy month of Ramadan. What is expected of our heart, of our mindset, So Imam talks about that, clearly we can see that Imam says here, Amma ma furida al kalbi. As for what has been made farida or obligatory on the heart. Now remember I said qalb in Arabic, in the usage of Islamic terminologies here, whether Quran or Hadith, is the physical heart, is the mind, is also the conscious human being, right? It all is part of qalb. The place of intelligence, place of emotions is all qalb. فَأَمَّا مَا فُرِضَ عَلَى الْقَلْبِ, what has been enjoined or obligated over the qalb, min al-imani, from the faith, is, Imam mentions 5 things. And I thought that I will just briefly discuss about it, because in my humble actual understanding is that almost it's like a level of faith, And this is why sometimes people still, for example, complain that after fasting for all these days, I don't see a kind of change in myself. So perhaps let us look at this now. Imam says, for ikraru, what has been made obligation for the heart as regards to faith is ikrar. Ikrar is to affirm. That means once you realize what is right, what is correct, what is to be done, whether it is regarding belief in Allah, in Prophet, Quran, all those things. So we actually affirm to that, And that is why you can see all of us are Muslims, and we became Muslims many years ago. We were born as Muslims, or we confirm our Islam, and there was a party, for example, Buluk party. At that time, we confirmed. Even then, you can see that we repeatedly say this what the testimonies, Kalma Shahadatain, again and again. So it's part of Azan, it's part of what namaz, it's part of Tashahud, right? Part of Iqama, just because that is to be always renewed. So there is Iqrar, affirmation of the faith. Wal Ma'rifah, this is exactly where I think many people are missing out. Ma'rifah is not only knowledge. Here, for example, the author or translator is just used to know. No, it's more than knowledge. It's a knowledge which will give you a good understanding. For example, we are told that وَمَنْ لَمْ يَعْرِفْ إِمَامَ زَمَانِهِ مَا تَمِيتَةَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ, right? The one who does not have the marifat of Imam of his time. So it is Imam of the time, we should have marifat. Not that, for example, he is Imam al-Mahdi, son of Imam Askari, he was born in 255 age, he went to Ribat in 260 age. Those are just biodata. That's not marifat. Marifat is something more, whereby, for example, since Imam is in Ribat, we miss his being. So you can say, for ikraru wal marifatu, to have that knowledge of cognizance, and realize, wal aqdu. Aqd means a contract. For example, it's aqdun nikah, right? The nikah is a contract. So wal aqd, there is a pledge between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ourselves. There's a pledge between Rasulullah and ourselves. There's a pledge between Aimma and ourselves, but Rasulullah and Aimma, they have left us. The 12th Imam is living, right? So there's a pledge between the Imam of our time and ourselves. There's a pledge, So there's aqd there. And we try to conclude that contract or stay we stay on our pledge, or rida, subhanallah. And that is, again, many people miss, right? Rida is not only, for example, as the translator says, she says, willingly to admit. Rida is even more than that. To be pleased with, that whatever Allah is, for example, decreed, I'm pleased with that. The best definition of rida is in the action of Imam Hussein, when he had a child in his hand, 6 months old, and says, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, ridam bi qada'ihi wa taslimun li amrihi, right? That I am just pleased with the decree of Allah. So that was action of Imam Hussein. That was a faith of Imam Hussein being translated into action. That his faith in Allah was so strong, right? That he says, I've faced all these difficulties, losing my brothers, my nephews, my friends, my companions. Now even a child, 6 months old, who has nothing to do, right? Who has no thought of anything other than he was my son. Even that very son being slaughtered. And if this is what Allah has wished, then I do rida. Ridam bi qada. Then I am pleased with qada. So rida, right? And then you can see taslim. Again, Imam says, Ridam bi qada wa taslim al-amr, right? So you can see rida and taslim, both these words have been explained to us by Imam Islam through his action. So, meaning as we are going through the holy month of Ramadan, this is, keep in mind that what is expected of us in our faith as far as the faith is concerned. Make sure that these 5 points are there: Iqrar, Marifa, Al-Aqd, Al-Rida, wa Taslim, right? And then, of course, Imam says, Allah, there is no God except Allah, and no, he has no partner. Ilahu wahid, and there's only one God. Lam yattaqis sahibatun wala walada. He did not take any companion nor his son, right? Anna Muhammad Abdu, and Muhammad is his servant and messenger. Wal ikraru bima ja'a min indillahi min nabiyyin aw kitabin. And not, we don't only just pause at Rasulullah, we go back, no, and also to attest to every prophet and divine scripture that Allah has sent down. It's only because Bible and Torah, or the Old Testament and the New Testament, have been corrupted. If these were not corrupted, today it would have become part of our belief system. That means, besides believing Quran, we would have also all the time, invoked, what passages from the Bible and New Testament. We would have done that because it is part of it. You can see, right? Well, ikraru bima ja'a min indillahi min nabiyyin aw kitab. But of course, because over time these people have corrupted, so we cannot just take the face value. If you have to, for example, take a quotation from the Bible or from New Testament, Old Testament, you have to go one step further by making sure that that particular part is not corrupted. Once you are sure that this is fine, then we can do that, right? So keep in mind that this is very important, and that is what is expected as we are going through this holy month, and now we are just in the final days. Okay. Now we go to the next slide, and that is because, unfortunately, I've noticed this thing in human nature, right? That we were all excited once Ramadan is coming. We started fasting. We started, praying du'as and munajat and istighfar, and all. We started giving charity. And then we waited until the night of Ramadan, about Qadr came, 19th, 21st, 23rd. No, mashallah. So I was able to, participate in this amal and perhaps kept awake all this night. So maybe Shaitan tells me, oh, mashallah, I'm qualified now. I've got a degree in Ramadan, right? No, in fact, that's not the case. No. In fact, the last final days of Ramadan are even the most holiest of days. In the book which I discussed earlier in the class, Shahrullah fil Kitab wal Sunnah, the month of Allah in Quran and in traditions. In that, there is a whole chapter on Ashra al-Awakhir. Ashra al-Awakhir, that means the last 10 days, the importance of the last 10 days and its own amal and its own importance. So, Mu'mineen, as we are just remaining with few days, perhaps less than a week until we finish this month, don't at all give up that kind of inspiration which you gain, that enthusiasm of Ramadan. Don't give up. No. First of all, we are not even sure that we are going to witness next Ramadan. So every moment of this Ramadan is still important until that time that the Eid, the question of the Eid is cited. And that also, it is so important that if had it not been haram to fast on the day of Eid, we would have continued doing it because we realized how important it is and the benefit of it. So, and because of that, I'll share with you this dua, which is also found in Mafaz Jinan. And you can take a picture of this slide. We'll try to send the slide today for posting, inshallah. If it's done by the volunteers, that's good. But this is a dua which it says, Anna Sadiq al-Islam kana yakulu fi kulli laylatin min al-ashri al-awakhir ba'd al-faraid wa nawafil. Subhanallah, person like Imam al-Sadiq, right? How great that Imam was and his contribution in establishing the Mazhab of Shia, right? He says that he would say in the last 10 nights, after every wajib, and also nafila namaz, mustawab namaz, he would say this thing: Allahumma addi anna haqqa ma'amada min shahr Ramadan. Oh Allah, just fulfill or restitute on our behalf the due rights of what is already passed with the month of Ramadan. That means Ramadan had certain rights over us. Remember, we discussed, for example, the right of Salah the other day. We discussed right of fasting and all. Ramadan is a whole month with fasting and prayers and du'as and charity and empathy for people who don't have. All that Ramadan, whatever it had the right to our need. So Imam said, Allahumma addi anna hakka ma mada min shahr Ramadan. No? Whatever has passed of the Ramadan, because this is the last 10 days, whatever has passed, if any shortcoming was there on our behalf, you fulfill it. No? And subhanAllah, Allah, Imam says, anna, that means on our behalf. No? Allah, we have limitations. Human being has limitations. A person like Imam was saying, no, so you just fulfill that. No? وَغْفِرْ لَنَا تَقْصِيرَنَا فِيهِ. And immediately says, no, so forgive our shortcomings. Taksir, which is there, our lapses and shortcomings in fihi, in this month, fihi, right? وَتَسَلَّمْهُ مِنَّا مَقْبُولًا, subhanAllah. And Allah, just receive it, receive Ramadan in the amal of Ramadan, in the deeds of Ramadan, in the prayers in Ramadan, in the fasting in Ramadan, all those things, Ya Allah, just receive it in a way that accept it's makbul. No, it is accepted to you. No. So just because of shortcomings, because of limitations, because of my lack of preparation, because of my involving other things and giving less importance to it, just accept it as it is, right? وَلَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا بِأَسْرَافِنَا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِنَا. Allah, do not take us to task for excesses against ourselves. Human being always does excess, right? We have been told again and again, know your limitations, know your boundaries. This is it. But still we try to access because that strength is there and we do things which are not real. So we do asraf against our own self. No? Remember we said that yes, in the month of Ramadan, yes, the shaitan has been chained, but the nafs has not. The nafs is there always, right? So Imam immediately says, وَلَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا بِإِسْرَافٍ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِنَا. We've been discussing about that fight against the nafs, right? Combat against self, أنفسنا. وَجْعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَرْهُومِينَ وَلَا تَجْنَا مِنَ الْمَحْرُومِينَ. Beautiful part, only if you understand. There is these words, right? This is the beauty of Arabic, right? There is marhum and there is mahroom. Marhum, as we know, that person was died marhum. Why is known as marhum? Because now he's under the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At the time of Namaz Zamayat, we say to Allah that, Ya Allah, inna haza abduka wa abnu abdika nazala bika wa anta khairu manzulin bi, right? This is your servant, the son of your servant or daughter of your servant, right? And he is now your guest and you are the best of hosts, right? So that's how he becomes marhum. That means under the mercy of Allah. So waj'alna min al-marhumin. Make us amongst those who are under your mercy, right? Who are protected by mercy. And then we say that not only that, we say وَلَا تَجْعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَحْرُومِينَ, and not make us amongst those who are deprived. So just, I think this is the translation. The last line has been missed out in translation. My apologies. Inshallah, I will correct it before I send it for posting. So, وَجْعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَحْرُومِينَ وَلَا تَجْعَلْنَا مِنَ الْمَحْرُومِينَ. Make us among those who are under your mercy, and do not make us amongst those who are mahrumin, those who are deprived. وَقَالَ مَنْ كَانَهُ. And he said, the one who says, I believe it doesn't say very clearly, but it seems that was Imam said this thing. Wakala, that means wakala, this is refers to the narrator, the narrator of this hadith. He says, man kana, that means the narrator says that whoever says this thing, quoting the 60th, غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَهُ مَا صَدَرَ عَنْهُ فِي مَا سَلَفَ مِنْ هَذَا الشَّرْ وَعَصَمَهُ مِنَ الْمَعَاصِي فِي مَا بَقِيَ. So if a person does this thing, inshallah, Allah is going to forgive the lapses and shortcomings of what has passed, and is going to protect us for what remains. So it's a short, beautiful dua, mu'mineen. Make a point that let us read, if not after sunnah namaz, at least after wajib prayers. Just try to memorize it, or just you can take a picture and keep in your phone and just open and read this thing. With that, now we will take questions. Today is Saturday, so we'll give some more time for questions. My opinion doesn't count, Dr. Saab. No. What is the opinion about doing Amal 27th and 25th? Yes, the hadith says that Laylatul Qadr is actually, in the last 10 nights of Ramadan in the odd nights. So there was Amal 21st, 23rd, and 25th, 27th. What is it? Regarding 25th, I've not seen anything. But 27th, some people I've seen some people do the basic Amal. And also interestingly, if you see the dua, not the duas of every day. There are duas for every day. If you see the dua for 27th day, it talks about Shab-e Qadr, also night of Qadr. So whether it's referring to the night of Qadr, which is 27, or it's referring to Qadr, which is going to come. So perhaps if somebody wants to do it, and these are mustab things, I would say that yes, 27th, there is a lot of yeah, you can also unmute. So 27th is perhaps one can do it. The basic amal which we do, for example, of holding the Quran and and keeping the Quran on your head, at least that can be done. Of course, Dua Abu Hamza Somali, Dua Yashin Kabir can be recited any night of the Ramadan, because these are duas especially for these nights. Dua, especially Dua Abu Hamza Somali is the night dua for Sahari. So you can continue doing that. Any other questions? So if there are no questions, as we have posted the note there in the chat, you can see that we are thinking of sending a small survey to all the registrants, those who register for this course, by email. And then once we receive the response, that somebody can summarize the survey. If there's a volunteer who can help us, please email me, so then I can share with you the email of the registrants, because it's like amanat, right? We don't want to just so if anybody can help out, we'll appreciate the thing. And then based on that, we can see whether we should continue these sessions, if not every day, at least once a week or twice a week after Ramadan, inshallah. Again, thank you very much for joining us. We will continue the classes non-stop, inshallah, all the way from today till Thursday, inshallah, which is 20th of April. So please pray that may Allah accept this amal and these what we have put efforts. And may Allah, give us the fig to continue serving even more. There are no more questions, then I'm going to just put off the recording.